The wish fish. On a day in May in rural England in the late 19th century, a mother sent her daughter off with the lunches for her two sons who were working on a fence that needed mending. Now if only that daughter could have started her trip at her destination instead of where all journeys begin, at the start, she might have overheard her brothers talking. You know our sister is so naive and gullible that I bet we could convince her of that. No, no, no. She is gullible all right, but no one is that gullible. I say she is. Just follow my lead when she comes. And the two laughed. It was then that she came upon her brothers. You two should stop laughing at me. Oh, dear sister. We are doing nothing of that sort. We are in fact crying for you. All right then, here's your lunch. She gave their lunches to them and then propped her head and said, crying for me? In between bites one brother replied, yes, we were just talking about the fact that you're 16 years old unmarried and without any prospects at all. You are without a doubt an old maid. No, I'm not. She clenched her hands into fists. And if I am, what does that make you? You know, sister, that men are generally older than the women when they marry. Look at Dad. He's 9 years older than Mom. The sister looked down knowing this was true while the other brother covered his mouth to keep from laughing. The sister started to kick a stone and then after a little bit the brother took another angle. And that is not the worst of it, sister. You know, if you don't get married you'll never be able to have kids. This was too much weight for the sister to bear. She sat right down in the middle of the road and cried. But all I ever wanted was some children of my own. I know, sister. I know. The two brothers approached and put an arm around their sister while doing everything they could to stop from laughing. Is there anything I can do to get married at my advanced age? Well, I don't want to give you any false hope, but we might have heard of something that might work. Yes, anything. Tell me. We heard of a fish around here that grants wishes. A fish that grants wishes? I guess that will do it. Where can I find this fish? We heard it sometimes swims in the creek while going from here to there. Come, we'll show you where. She got up and they started to go the short distance to the creek. How will I know what the fish looks like? Well, from what I can tell the fish is purple, green, and pink striped. When they arrived at the creek the sister ran to the edge and the brothers stayed back a little. Some time passed while looking and the sister said, You said the fish was green? No, the fish is purple, green, and pink striped. And they laughed a little. Oh. And she went back looking. Some more time passed and she said, You said the fish was pink? No, no, sister. The fish is purple, green, and pink striped. She went back looking. Even more time passed. When she said, What did you say the fish looked like? Sister, the fish is purple, green, and pink striped. You mean like this? The sister, who had her hands cupped in the water, moved aside to let her brothers see and the brothers ran over. It was in fact a purple, green, and pink striped fish. The brothers just stood there with their mouths open. Sister closed her eyes and said, I wish upon this fish. A crack of sound and smoke burst through the air from the other side of the creek, and before the smoke could clear came a voice. Who wishes to wish a wish upon this fish? The smoke cleared and exposed the owner of the voice. It was a 7-foot-tall goat creature standing on his hind legs like a person. I wish to wish a wish upon this fish. And who are you? The creature pointed at the sister with a long, somehow human-like finger. I am a poor farmer's daughter. She did a proper curtsy, and since we are doing introductions, who may I ask are you? Why, I am the guardian of the fish. Looking self-confident that should have been evident from the start. Why is it that you wish to wish upon this fish? Because I'm an old maid and am in need of a husband. You're a what? The giant goat stopped for a second. Never mind that for now. I mean, why do you think this fish will grant you a wish? Because they said it would, and she pointed to her brothers. The goat looked at the brothers for a second and then came back to the sister. Why, that is the most preposterous thing I have ever heard. The sister looked down and then asked. But is it true? Why I don't know. Why don't you try? She closed her eyes and still cupping the fish in the water as she had done since she had found it and said, I wish upon this fish to find my true love and future husband. The fish started to glow and then sent a beam of light behind the sister. Do you think my true love will like piloting hot air balloons? What is that speck? Said the goat. It's getting bigger, said a brother. Then from a distance came a yell, aha, and when the yelling stopped, a young gentleman in a basket of a hot air balloon, without the balloon itself, landed in the creek. The sound turned the sister around, who had all this time been looking in the opposite direction. She ran towards the gentleman and caught him as he was halfway out of the basket and threw her arms around him. Oh, my future husband! The fish has brought you to me. The young man awkwardly accepted the hug and finished getting down from the basket. Needless to say, the gentleman was taken back and said, future husband? Fish? Then the sister told the whole story of her advanced age, the fish and goat, and the wish she made. She finished by saying, so you see, you are my future husband brought to me by the fish. So you are asking me to marry you? Yes. Yes, I am. My head is spinning. It must be from the crash. You will have to give me some time to think about this. He paced back and forth, weighing both sides of the proposal, thinking to himself. I was going to go to Cambridge in the fall, but she is kind of cute. I was going to be the next Locke or Milton, but she is kind of cute. I was going to change the world, but she is kind of cute. It went on as such for a few more minutes, and then he stopped in front of the sister. I would love to marry you, but I have found a stumbling block in which I could not find a way through, and will not marry you unless we can. Well, what is it? Replied the sister. If I were to marry you, I would be cut off from my family, and I would have no way to support us. I see. I see. Let me think. I know. Wish upon the wish fish. The young man, now with the sister in his arms, asked the goat, could I wish upon the fish? I think it would be nice. The young man bent beside the creek and cupped the fish. I wish I had enough money to support myself, a wife and some kids. He turned to the sister and asked, you do want kids, right? Oh, more than anything. The fish started to glow and a beam of light shot forth from the fish and pointed to a place near them on the creek bed. Everyone ran there and the young man reached down, and there a chest and inside some treasure. Oh, look, honey. There is enough here for us to have a family and start a hot air balloon company. Everyone was excited and talking when one of the brothers went up to the goat and asked if they could have a wish. You might as well. It seems to be the thing to do. One of the brothers cupped the fish and said, I wish for a gazillion-pound note. The fish started to glow at a light shot out and went to the base of a tree. Everyone ran over to the spot, and there was a sheet of paper with gazillion written on it. The brothers in their haste had asked for something the fish could not grant because there was no such thing as a gazillion-pound note. The sister married her young gentleman, and they indeed started a hot air balloon company and had many, many children. The two brothers went back and work on the family farm, forever cursing the chance they had and blown with the wish fish, who with his guardian were never seen again.